Inflation will be sticky for the next several years. Watch our market update to find out why. Hi, Jim Gore from THOR Wealth Management. Well, inflation is going to be sticky, and it all goes back to what happened during COVID. And I'll explain that in this video. First and foremost, I think this economist, Milton Friedman, back in the 80s, had it correct. Inflation is always a monetary phenomenon. Basically, if you print more money than are goods out there, either from the Federal Reserve or government spending, you will have inflation. And there was, a school of thought, there still is out there. It was espoused by some individuals, mostly politicians that love government spending, and that was modern monetary theory. And I did a video a few years back. You can look at our website and go back and watch it about the three theories for economic theory: Keynesian, Austrian, which is also Hayek, and then you look at modern monetary theory. Now, modern monetary theory basically says you don't have to worry about your national debt because you can always print more money. And that was really destroyed during COVID in the last couple of years as we saw that excess spending increase inflation. Now, Keynesian approach is appropriate at some times. The government should step in, like when COVID hit, to stimulate the economy. However, in normalized times, we should use the Hayek or Austrian approach, which is having a steady monetary approach with very little government intervention. But let's go through this and look what happened to the money supply back during COVID. The 2 years ending 2022, we saw the money supply spike by 41%. Huge increase in money supply, right? Note there that after a peak, the Federal Reserve actually let the money supply fall, but it's been actually rising the last year. It's up about 4.5%. But that increase in the money supply takes a while to filter through the system. And this is simplified, but I want to make it so that people kind of understand the basic concepts here. If you're going to have no inflation, your money supply growth will equal your real gross domestic product. Okay, very simple. Hey, if our economy's growing, we just print enough money to have that to cover for the growth in the economy. Zero inflation. If I print more money than what the real GDP is, we have inflation. If I print less, guess what? You have deflation because there's less money out there chasing too many goods. Okay, so that's a very important concept. I mentioned that this goes back to the problem during COVID. In COVID, we saw a 41% increase in the money supply. So just look at these numbers here. Over the 2 years ending April 22nd, we saw the money supply grow by 41%. Huge increase. GDP growth, the real gross GDP growth, was 6%. So what that meant is we had expected inflation. We had excess money out there, 35% more than what our economy is growing. However, it takes some time for that to filter through the system. So if you look at that, the actual inflation rate, the CPI that was printed by the Federal Reserve, 12% growth. So that means that there's still, as of 2022, excess money in the system, 23% growth. Now, it did come down a little bit, so that excess is probably a little bit less than this, but it just shows the magnitude of how much money is still in the system that is floating around, that is still going to go through the process and cause inflation to stick around. Don't expect interest rates, especially on a longer term end, to come down significantly. Short term end, they might come down 1%, but you're not going to see rates on the shorter end go down to 0.5% or 1% like we had a few years back during QE. The numbers are showing us that the inflation problem is going to stick around for some time. If you have any questions or concerns or need help with your portfolio on how to protect your portfolio against some of this inflation, please give us a call or reach out to us at thorwealthmanagement.com. Take care. Look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks. Subscribe to the THOR channel today.